He had stowed away on a ship to the eastern countries and had learned Arabic and learned Hebrew and all this other stuff. So he was a master of languages. And it was really interesting to go over there and to read the scriptures with him, especially the Book of Mormon, because he would always go back to like the Hebrew translation or stuff like that. So he would always be looking for the deeper meaning. So it was really cool meeting with him and just being able to understand the deeper meaning of the scriptures. Yes, in the Book of Mormon, there's you have the little footnotes with the Greek translation or the Hebrew translation or whatever it is, but he went a little bit deeper. There was like different phrases and different things, so that was really cool meeting with him. And then another one that we worked with that I remember the most was in my last area in Green River, Wyoming, actually. A little kid, he was 10 years old, J.C. Avery. He loved having us over. Cool kid, really, really scrawny. Kind of reminded me a lot of me at that age. But just working with him and it was really cool. He asked me to baptize him, and so I was able to do that my last Saturday on the mission. And that experience was pretty cool. Some of you already heard this from last Sunday. But whenever I baptized him, I did it wrong, and no one caught it. And so we go back in and change, and then we come back out and finish the meeting. And then afterwards, one of the stake presidents comes up to me and says, "You did it wrong. We have to redo it." So I'm like, great. So I take him back in there. We get changed back into the wet, cold clothes, and they were cold. He was standing there shivering. And we get back into the font, and a little bit of background information on his family. So his parents were split, and he was living with his mom at the time. And I had never met the dad before or anything, never even knew of him. And whenever we go in to the font again for me to rebaptize him, his mom calls out and says, "JC, look who came." It was his dad. His dad had came, even though it was late, really late, but he had came. So it was really cool working with JC and having that experience. I also remember another convert that I was working with in my first area. She was really strong. She was ready for the gospel. And she, right after she was baptized, like a week later, she got a calling as a ward missionary. And she just took it and ran with it. She was super amazing and gung-ho about the gospel and missionary work. So that was really cool to see just the fire that she had.
What was her name?
Her name was Leslie Reese. So that's a few of them. I could spend forever talking about all of them. I guess I should say my mission boundaries. My mission boundaries, they changed towards the end, but it started off as basically about State Street in Salt Lake, and then we went up to the avenues, north into the avenues, and then south to about Cottonwood area. And then we just followed I-80 out east into Wyoming, and we went all the way to Rock Springs. So it was a pretty good size mission compared to the rest in Salt Lake. But towards the end, the last couple months of my mission, we lost the avenues to another mission, and then we gained Midvale and Murray because the mission the boundaries were dissolved. And so that was just a little change. It didn't bother me too much because I was leaving. But questions?
How long of a drive is it from Salt Lake to Green River?
Green River? With construction, about 3.5 hours. I-80 is always under construction. Actually, it's about, yeah, it's about. So I was mostly in the Holiday area. That was my first area. I covered the Holiday and Holiday South states. And then I moved. Oh man, this is gonna be testing my memory. I moved from there to Winder West, which is literally just the state over, so just down the road. And from Winder West, I went up to the Mount Olympus Stake, and from Mount Olympus, I went to the Holiday North Stake, and then Holiday North. Oh goodness, Holiday North to Brighton, in the Cottonwood area, Brighton to Sugar House to Green River, Wyoming. Green River, Wyoming, or one of the Holiday areas.
Did you guys cover the whole state in Green River?
No, we covered half.
Did you find any relatives' name in Green River?
What do you mean?
Oh my goodness.
On the teaching records, maybe?
Oh yeah, teaching records. Yeah, I thought you were just talking about like on the church records or the member records. I was like,
How frequently did you guys get to go to the temple?
the temple we went about every 3 months, so I got to go quite a while. And then whenever you were leaving, you got to go. You and your companion got to go to the temple one last time with the mission president. So I killed a missionary, so I was able to go with him, and then myself. So I went about. I think we talked about this like what 10 times, something like that. Oh yeah. So one great thing about serving in Salt Lake was Temple Square was always right there. It was like not even 15-minute drive. So we were able to take investigators and anyone who was interested, able to take them there and do tours and show them different things and talk about the temple and other things like that. So that was always really nice to have. But also, my mission president was super cool and super good at hooking things up. So at the mission, we were able to go on a mission trek. Just for a day, it was like 8 miles or something like that. Going on all these hikes with the mission president, doing all these things. So that was nice. The mission president was nice enough to take on the headache of getting all of us out there on hikes and all of us on that mission track. So it was a lot of fun doing that.
How many companions did you have, and which one was your favorite?
That's a hard one.
Which was your least favorite?
That was a little easier, right?
How many companions did I have? I had, if I'm remembering correctly, I had about 12 companions. My favorite one, if you said favorite missionary, that would be totally different than favorite companion. Favorite companion was probably, it changes every time. I would think Elder Freebear. He was from Hawaii. He knew martial arts, like almost every martial arts out there he knew. Just really fun. We whitewashed into an area together, and so that was interesting. Yeah, we had our rough moments, but everyone's rough. Be nice. So yeah, I guess Elder Freebear was one of my favorite ones.
What was the hardest adjustment for you not being on a mission than being on a mission?
Not being on a mission. So, like, now not being on a mission?
No, I mean like going into the mission field. What was your hardest adjustment?
Hardest adjustment?
Music, movies.
Talking. It's a really good question. I Yeah, Grandma, you're probably right. Probably talking. And that's, I had to get rid of that really quick because my first day, right after I got there, right after I got my companion, they did, the mission president had all the new missionaries do something that we called Extreme Street Contact, where we would take several copies of the Book of Mormon and pamphlets and pass along cards and all these other things and referral cards, and we would go down to Temple Square and we would be assigned a street, just a part of a street at downtown Salt Lake, and we would have to walk and talk with anyone that we could. It was easy because it was always busy. And we had to give out those copies of the Book of Mormon, the pamphlets, those cards, everything. And as a little incentive for it, there was a point system connected to everything that we gave out. And so like the Book of Mormon was like 5 points, it was like 2. And whoever got the most points by the end of the hour or two, whatever that we were doing, the president would like buy them lunch or something like that. Just a little bit extra incentive. And so what my companion did is he did the first one. He talked to a person, and then he handed me like all the stuff and said, "Go for it." So I was just like, hey! It was just super awkward for me because I had never done that. So totally out of my element. So yeah, it was probably, the hardest thing adjusting to was talking with everyone and being able to actually carry on a somewhat normal conversation and being able to tie it in with the gospel and the message that we had to share.
Vice versa, what was your hardest adjustments coming off the mission to home?
Stop talking.
Not really. No, not.
You said you didn't have anybody to talk to.
Well, yes. Loneliness. I think the hardest thing, and I kind of mentioned this on Sunday as well, was putting my suit back on, because I hadn't worn it for a couple days. And I hadn't worn, the missionary attire for a while, and so it was just knowing I was going to a meeting, and knowing I was going to church and different meetings, and putting on my suit and looking in the mirror, there should have been a tag there. And so I think that was the hardest thing, of not being able to put that tag on and not being able to always have that right there, know that it was right there. So I think that was the hardest. And then next was not having really anyone to talk to, because parents work, I don't at the time. So.
Will you bear your testimony to us?
Yeah. There's teamwork.
And the native language.
of your mission.
Okay, so drop all the T's.
Yeah.
Jacob?
What was the most, or what food did you eat most commonly?
Stouffer's lasagna. Weirdest food? Not really anything. I mean, in Utah, there was always nice meals. I was up in East.
No weird Jello meals?
Really? East Bench of Salt Lake, it's a richer area, so like every time we came over for meals, it was always like a Thanksgiving spread, basically. And so, but a lot of people got the hint like, oh, missionaries don't want the Thanksgiving meal because they get fat. So they would do Stouffer's lasagna, just something really quick and just throw it in the oven. So, interesting fact, the average weight gain on the mission was about 40 pounds.
Whoa!
Average.
Same as St. George.
Obviously, I missed that.
60%.
So, because
Yeah.
of you, that means there was somebody else that made it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
My
And that was part of
she's
it.
50 pounds. He's like, I stopped sitting with you. They won't recognize you.
St. George. I made it a goal to stay in the same slacks that I came out with, and these are one of them.
Yeah!
Any other
I
questions?
think Haley had one.
Dating yet? Are you engaged?
Give him at least 4 months. Come on, guys. Hey, Jessica did it in 3. I did it in 1.5.
right is right.
All right. Well,
Hey, you guys had a head start at the camp. Joey, on the other hand.
I think going on a mission obviously has changed me a lot. You know, Grandma, I went over to her house a couple days after I got back and started talking with her, and she was like, "You have changed. You can actually carry on a conversation now." And so, besides that, I have changed. For more details, you should probably ask my parents. But on the mission, doing all the studying and all the talking about Christ and the atonement and the plan of salvation, I've really come to learn and know that it's true. The gospel is true. There's no other organization in the world, in my opinion, to where if you want to change and improve the quality of your life, it's the Oasis religion. Because I've seen that with so many people on my mission, and me included on my mission. The people that I was able to work with, just seeing the change, even if it was minute, and we were working with them for like 8 months. I mean, there was still an improvement, still a change. But there's nothing that makes me more happy than the gospel and seeing the change that it can make in people's lives. There's so much that can be said about the gospel. I know that my testimony has grown by leaps and bounds because of my mission. Doing all the studying and everything, trying to prepare and best help the people that we were working with has also changed and helped me to come to understand the role that Jesus Christ has as my Savior. He is my Savior. He did suffer on the cross and in the garden for me so that I can improve, so that my mistakes can be erased. And He did that for everyone, individually. I don't know how many times, I can't tell you how many times on my mission that getting just a prompting from the Spirit saying, you need to go knock on this house, you need to go talk with this person. And there were obviously times that I didn't do that. I didn't listen to that prompting. And there was times that I did and did it right away. And I was able to tell a huge difference in the way that I felt. The Spirit is key to anything that, key to everything that we need in life. If we want to be successful in life, we need to listen to the Spirit. And I think that's one of the main things that I learned. Also, I also mentioned this last week, is God's timing. You know, we have our timing, there's God's timing. But one of the main things that I learned on my mission is if I just am able to humble myself and not think about my time, because I would have loved to have just sat down with people and just talked with them and said, this is what you need. You need to stop all of this stuff and you need to start doing this stuff, and then you can keep going on the right and better path. But that's not how it is. It's, there's agency, there's all these different factors, but God's timing is the perfect timing. No matter what happens, even if it's accidents, even if we think it's accidents, it's God's timing. He's in charge. Just like with that experience that I shared about J.C. Avery and his dad showing up late for the baptism, it needed to happen, so that was God's timing. As I said, Jesus is my Savior. This gospel is true. It changes lives. I know it does. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.